Good morning, good morning. It's your girl Mahogany Roots here, and I'm back at you again with another video. So, um, welcome, my new subscribers, and welcome my old. Let's get this thing started with a little bit of music. And if you guys don't know, I always reflect my music to the topic of the day. So, as you come in, please be respectful and hit that like button, honey. Appreciate that. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. I've been playing the tape for y'all the whole time. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I wasted 5 minutes. You know what? Let me stop. I was in a peaceful, good mood, and I'm still in a peaceful, good mood. I'm not sure why you guys could not hear that. You should have been able to. Oh, Lord. Um, I want you guys to hear it because it's really, my songs are based on my shows. Sometimes my laptop acts up, but you guys should have been able to hear that. But I didn't see my bubble bouncing. As Faith said, my bubble wasn't bouncing. So uh, let me just get on with what I'm talking about, y'all. This live actually is a very important live, and it's a very positive one, even though it's a sad topic. Okay. Um, what is it called? It's called "It Is Well with My Soul." Now, those of y'all, I know we welcome everybody. Paper Chase, me, you from the South, you should know. I think you are. But "It Is Well with My Soul" is almost like a customary Southern song that they play at somebody's passing. Now, I have done shows on this channel, at least 3 shows about how to deal with death and grieving and depression and sadness. I did a show maybe about a few months ago about dealing with the elderly parent. I try to talk about things here every once in a while that I believe is going to help people, because these are topics that we all eventually either we ourselves are going to go through, or we're going to know somebody that's gone through those things. And at the end of the day, we are all one day gonna pretty much meet the maker. That day is going to come. So one thing I've always said when I got older was that I think it's kind of sad, American culture, that we don't talk about death the way we really should. We don't prepare our children for it. So I've told the story. I'm going to tell it to you again. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Sheila E. Good morning, Black Rain. Good morning, Chef Disaster. Welcome, sister, and I'm coming to you. But this is important. I've got a lot to say in this live. Okay, so y'all just bear with me. I'm not skipping over y'all. Y'all just bear with me. I want to make sure that we all walk away with some important messages today. So at least 3 times I've talked about death and grieving and even depression on this channel, and just dealing with the elderly parent, right? I never realized, I remember when I was younger, I was always kind of like an old soul, I guess. I would listen to the grown folks talk. And I'll never forget, they would say things like, well, when you get our age, you're going to see people are going to start passing around you faster than you'll ever be ready for. And, when you're young, even when you're in your 20s and 30s, you just don't think about it. You just don't, because by then, most of us, right, in our 20s, our parents are about 40, are, in their mid 40s. When we're about 30, our parents might be in their 50s, right? Well, my mom was 30 something years older than me. So like my mom is in her 70s. And my grandmother, who just passed away, was almost 100 years old. She was 98 years, 10 months old in just a few days. So she was literally 2 months away from being 99. And she was a really, really, really wonderful person. And no, I am not just saying that because she was my grandmother. That's my testimony, because that's the type of person she was. And as a matter of fact, her funeral was yesterday. As a matter of fact, there were a whole lot of strangers, people, non-family members that were there to give the same testimony. That woman was well beloved. Why am I telling you this, family? Because that's the type of passing that I think everyone wants. The type where people celebrate your life. They mourn you, yes, for a little while. Mourning is normal. Grieving is normal. Feeling sad from time to time is normal. But then, especially after someone has passed, should come the celebration. And y'all, I didn't understand that. I did not understand it when I was young. So let me tell you, my very first funeral that I ever went to was of my grandfather, whom I know y'all heard the term daddy's little girl. Well, my father passed when I was baby, so unfortunately, I never really knew of being daddy's little girl, but I definitely knew about being granddaddy's little girl. I mean, the other kids would be playing, and I would always want to sit on his lap and do whatever he was doing. So he was a father figure to me, my very first father figure. After my father passed, my mother used to leave me and my brother to be watched by my grandparents. And so my grandmother and my grandfather pretty much helped raise me. Hence the old spirit, right? I'm going to try and make this short, y'all. There's a point. Anyway, they told me what happened, and, I was distraught. I was distraught as a child could be, I guess. But anyway, the day of the funeral, I saw all these adults towering over me, right? Because I'm literally like 3 feet tall at this point. And some of them were laughing and rejoicing. And some of them were telling stories, oh, he used to do this. This was so funny. I did hear lots of stories saying that he was a good man, a good father, a good husband. But I couldn't get over the laughter. That bothered me because I was sad. I was real sad. And I didn't understand how these adults could be laughing about my grandpappy, okay? Fast forward, some 30-something years later, I completely understand. Do you guys feel me? I completely understand. As you get older, there's a transition, of course, that happens, not just maturity, but experiences in your life. But most importantly, as you get older, you come to the realization this person has gotten older, and so will you. And that the time is shortening. When you're young, you have so much time, right? So much time to do this, to do that, to become what you want to be, to do what you want to do. But as you get older, the time is shortening. I'm not saying this to discourage anybody. I'm saying this to encourage you all to make the best of your time while you have it. A lot of us spend time lollygagging around with our life, putting things on the back burner, saying that we're going to change and we never do, saying we're going to mend the fence with people and we never do, saying that we're going to go take that vacation and we never do, saying that we're going to apologize and say I'm sorry to a loved one and we never do. And then when the time comes and we never know when it's going to be, it's late and we're sorry and we're crying. Good morning. Good morning. Actually, let me see. I'm not ignoring you. Y'all know that if I look at the chat room, I'll get distracted like nobody's business. So let me see. I said hello to Sheila. I said hello to Chef. Okay, good morning. Let me go on down this list here. DOD, good morning, sweetie. Good morning, Sexy Red. Good morning. Let me look down. Oh, let me tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. Good morning, Sister George. I appreciate all of y'all condolences. Everything I'm sharing it for us, for the YouTube family, and for people that might stumble up on this video, because I feel like this is something we've got to talk about more as people, particularly American culture. We've got to talk about this more. You have so many young people that commit suicide because they don't know how to deal with their emotions. They don't know how to deal with their feelings. Me at 6, my feelings were all over the place because no one had ever talked to me about death before. I really literally thought at 6 years old, my family was going to live forever. My mom was going to live forever. My grandparents were going to live forever. Everybody was going to live forever, right? That's the way children think. Just like at some point we have to talk to our children about sexual urges and sexual responsibility with partners. At some point we have to talk about the grieving process. We have to talk about the passing of our loved ones. We have to do that, or we do a disjustice to our young people and to ourselves. Okay, so let's get back on it. I'm going to try, y'all, and play this video again. If it does not play, we're going to try it another way. I'll show you the screen, okay? But I'm going to try and play this video again because this is very important. The main topics we're talking about today, and I just talked about it, the grieving process and changing, doing better in your life, and people not wanting to accept that you've changed. Well, you know what? I want everybody to be able to say it is well with my soul, honey, and including myself. It is well with my soul. One thing you don't want to do is leave this world and not be at peace. I want us all to have peace, including myself. Do you guys know that last night was the first time in a while that I really did a on my knees, honey, type of prayer. Or on my knees, like and stayed in that Bible for a good little while. I hadn't read the Bible like that in a long time. You know, every once in a while I'll skim through it. Okay. And y'all don't make fun of me. Some of y'all got dust on y'all Bibles, okay? Some of y'all got to blow the dust off. Okay. Don't come for me, y'all. I'm just joking. But yeah, honey, I had to, because I know that that's what she would tell me to do. I know that that's what she would want me to do. I look back on some of the things that I'll just use YouTube. Some of the times when I just got in my feelings and got to yelling at folks, cussing at folks, that's not me. You know what that is? That's me when I'm not at peace. That's me when I'm frustrated. That's me when I'm upset. That's me when I'm up, when I haven't hit the floor in a long time. My grandmother used to be that peace for me. When I was upset, she was the one that told me, Tiffany, yes, y'all know my name, but she used to say, read your Bible, girl. Read your Bible. And as I get older, I understand the peace in that, the comfort and the importance. So I'm going to try this song one more time. We've been to have good old fashioned church up in here, but not for too long. But we're going to get this message across. The message of grieving. The message of change and peace. Once you've changed, that's another thing. People love to remind you of all the mistakes you've made in your life. They love to remind you of every sin you ever did. Well, I remember when you used to do. Well, guess what? I've changed, and I know I've been changed. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find a song for y'all. Thank you for coming through and spending the morning with me. Oops, wrong song. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all, this is really making me mad. Something's going on with this. It's not allowing me to share this, and this is very important to me. I might ask you guys, hold on, let's see. I'm gonna try it this way. I would hate to have to start this over, but I'm going to get this message out before I leave today. I'm going to. I don't give a crap. So let's try it this way. Okay. Yeah, y'all let me know if you can hear it, okay? Been changed. No, I've been chained. You know the angel in heaven gonna shine my name. Good Lord, come on, help me, y'all. I said that. No, I've been chained. I know. No, I've been chained. Wait a minute. What if you don't believe that I've been redeemed? You know the angel. Yes, sir. What? Follow me down to that old Jordan stream. The only thing. I step in the water, and the water was cold. You know the angels, yes they have. Oh, chill my body, but not my soul. Good Lord, come on, church. I'll say wait a minute. Somebody said, how can a brown cow eat green grass and give you white milk? But if you think that's something, God's chemical laboratory of redemption took my black soul and dipped it in red blood. And I came out white as snow. Oh! The angel. Yes, sir. Come on, Zion. The angels in heaven done time. My name. All right, you guys, I'm back. Hold on, y'all. You can tell I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but hold on. We're going to get it together. Okay. So that is a classic, honey. I know I've been changed. That's right. Basically, y'all, the moral of this show is that we all are eventually going to have that day come, but make the most of your life while you still have it, right? Make peace while you still have the time. Do with your life what you want and what you need to do while you still have the time. And when you have changed your life for the better, don't let people tell you who you are. Oh, you used to do this, you used to smoke, you used to do drugs, you used to drink, you used to be, a whore or whatever the foolishness is. You look them dead in the eye and say, I know I've been changed. I know, but guess what? I've been changed. Be at peace with yourself. Be at peace. Make your apologies while you can. You haven't been in your children's life? Call them up today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Call them up today. They don't want to talk to you? Call them again tomorrow. For all my brothers that go through that, the woman's being difficult. Talk to her today. She don't want to talk to you. Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. It's amazing the power of the Most High. Now, this is different than some of the videos that I've done. And you guys, welcome. This is very different than some of the videos I've done in the past about the church. So those of you who don't know about my history, I grew up in the church. My mom is a pastor, and I have several pastors in the family, right? Uncles and whatnot that are pastors. So we grew up in the church. We went to church literally 4 or 5 days a week, okay? And I saw things that I didn't like in the church. I saw a lot of hypocrisy. So, it actually turned me off for many years. But I will tell you, and I've always said this, I'm grateful for my upbringing. I'm grateful for the church members that actually were Christians, that actually were believers. Just like there are some in the Hebrew Israelite faith. You have people who are real to their beliefs and you have people that are not. But we should never get it twisted and just wipe everybody with a brush. Everybody is different. Everybody is on their own journey and their own walk. I'm not here to condemn anybody. I'm too busy working on my own soul. I don't really care what you call him as long as you have a faith and as long as you believe. I don't care what you call his name. That's between you and your faith. I have my own, and I'm worried about my own soul and my own favor. And I want to be at peace. And I want to be able to say it is well with my soul. All right. So remember that. There's one last point I want to get to. How long we've been going? We actually haven't been going that long, so I'm doing okay. Let's see. Let me look at my notes, y'all. Yes. I want to talk about the spirit of guilt. The spirit of guilt. So I think for me, I've always battled with that spirit. Everybody has a spirit of something, right? That might not be good. Whether it be alcohol, who knows? It could be overeating. It could be some kind of sexual deviancy, maybe like pornography. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not. I'm probably the most open-minded, unjudgmental person you'll ever meet because I know the things that I've done. And like I said, I've already hit the floor and asked for forgiveness. So I have changed, honey. And so the last thing I'm going to do is sit up here and preach and point my finger at somebody. But for me, that spirit of guilt, I wish I was there more. I wish that, I had done this and done that. Please, y'all, don't let that be y'all story. Do it while you can. Do it while you can. And if it does become your story, forgive yourself and move on. Ask the Creator to forgive you. He knows your heart, and move on. Don't let that spirit linger. That's a demonic spirit. You're not here to suffer. You're not here to mourn forever. You're not here to feel guilty forever for something you cannot change. Once the milk is spilt, it's spilt. It's on the floor. Clean it up. There's no sense in crying. My grandmother was a very, very, very wise woman, y'all. Very wise woman. And I turn to her often for not just comfort, but her wisdom. Let me tell you some things about her. When you live 98 years, I learned a lot. My uncles and pastors, like I said, lots of people gave speeches about my grandmother. But I found out some very interesting things about her, and I want to share them, which I already knew she was amazing, but I want to share them with you. One interesting thing about her was that she only had a third grade education. Yes, she only had a third grade education. She was a generation away from slavery, 100 years old, a generation from slavery. Yes. She grew up in the segregated South, and not just segregated South, back in the time where they had the black codes. And we're going to talk about the black code laws in a minute. But my uncle told the story. So, yes, third grade education, wisest person that I know. And I tell you no lie. Wisest person that I know. She had wisdom that comes from life and experience, and she had an undying faith in the Most High. She did. Didn't matter what she called him. She had an undying faith. I say that she's wise because she knew when my son was born, I was a new mother, a young mother, 21 years old. Okay, husband, house, didn't know how to take care of the house, didn't know how to keep house, and just kind of thrown literally straight out of my mom's house into the house of my husband, right? Didn't know anything. And I called her crying one day because the baby wouldn't stop crying, and I was stressed out because my husband had asked me to have the house clean. I wasn't working, so it was the least I could do. And I was like, I don't know what to do. He won't stop crying. Every time I put him down, he'll cry. And she said, well, let him cry. She said, you got something to do. You told your husband you was going to clean the house. Let him cry. She said, did you feed him? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, did you change him? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, did you burp him? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, did you take his temperature? Does he have a fever? I said, no, ma'am. She said, lay that baby down. She said, lay that child down. And I said, mother, we call her mother. I said, mother, I try to lay him down and he won't stop crying. And she said, oh, child, she said, lay that baby down. Keep him in your eyesight, but let him cry. And it never dawned to me to do this, y'all. So many young mothers go through this. It never even dawned to me because, in our minds, our baby crying is something is wrong. We've got to pick him up. We've got to hold him. We've got to ease the pain. But one thing I learned from her is sometimes pain is, first of all, he wasn't in any pain. But sometimes the best thing you could do for your children is just to let them feel things. Let them feel it. Talk to your children about grief, y'all. Talk to them about it so they know how to handle it. But I put him down. He cried, and I was tempted. I remember what she said. She said, leave him alone. Go wash them dishes, girl, and leave him alone. And after about 15 minutes, actually, not even 15, maybe 10 minutes, because he was screaming his head off, child. You know how they do it. They pause and they stop breathing, or they act like they're stopping to breathe. And I went running in the bedroom, which was right outside our kitchen door. And he was fast asleep. Fast asleep. And I remember calling her, thanking her for the advice. And she laughed and she said, "You have a lot to learn, young one." She said, "You have a lot to learn." But I called her often after that. I called her for lots of things. Jaundice. If you guys ever want to know a home remedy for jaundice, I'm telling you, I can give it to you. Just email me. It's not a pleasant one, but it works. It works. For y'all who don't know jaundice is just like a yellowing. It's like a buildup of ruby belin in the skin. It like causes like a yellowishness of the eyes and the skin, but it can be easily taken care of. Natural remedy is sunlight. Put the child in sunlight. But anyway, I'm not going to make this that kind of show. But that's how wise my grandmother was. She gave birth to 12 children. I'll say that again. 12 children. 10 survived. All of them college graduates. I'll repeat that again. This woman with a third grade education raised 10 children that all were college graduates. And my grandfather passed. They were married for a long time. They were married for a very long time. I believe 50-something years. So a good bit of those years, right? Because she's 90-something years old, she spent as a single mother. Yet all of her children came out well. And I believe that's because of her belief in prayer and her devout, her devotion to prayer and belief in the Creator. Now, like I said, I don't want to make this a religious show, but I do want you guys to understand what I'm saying very clearly. Your belief in the Creator is vital to the type of life you live. I believe that. I really do. And it gives you a peace like no other. No man, no woman can give you that type of peace. I guarantee it. I don't care how good they are. When I prayed on my knees last night, I woke up this morning feeling amazing. Better than I've felt probably in a while. That's the power of prayer. That's the power she had. Okay, so I think I've dealt with that. I do have another song. I hit y'all with some powerful songs today. Y'all know I like to listen to different type of music. I listen to everything. I listen to hip hop. I listen to R&B. I even listen to some country music. And I grew up listening to religious music. So don't be surprised at anything I play. So did we talk about life is you only got one life to live? It's what you make it. Yes. Yes, let's talk about decisions. Decisions, y'all. Hold on there with me, y'all. Decisions. We all have gotten dealt an unfair hand, I'm sure. Most of us. And we have choices. We have decisions to make. You can accept the hand you were dealt. You can do something about it. See, this is the power of God. You have choices and you have decisions. You have willpower. You can bring change to it or you can complain about it. My grandmother told me and this is why I have such a short patience for people that complain. It was never acceptable in my family to complain about anything. Understand me now. There were times where kids don't like to eat no freaking liver. Okay. But there were times when we had liver and gravy. There I am, 5 years old, sitting at the kitchen table, pouting. She would say, "What you pouting for? Eat your food." But Grandma, I don't like this. I don't want this. And you got people in China, or she would say, you got people in Africa starving. Would love to have that food. Eat the food. And so, that's just something natural for a child to do, but it's not natural for grown adults to do. Don't be a complainer. Don't be a complainer. Especially when you have the power to change some things. See, me at 5, 6 years old, sitting at that table looking at that liver, I couldn't cook my own dinner. And I knew better to go in her refrigerator and grab something without being given permission to, honey. So I had no choice. But as adults, we have choice. We have power to change. You haven't seen your children, find a way to go see your children. No matter what the obstacles. Unless it's Beelzebub himself, find a way. That's just one example. Ladies, what's our deal? As I try to keep the balance, and let me give an example. What do we complain about? Well, maybe we're struggling with our health, our weight, whatever, whether it's gaining or losing, whatever the case may be. What do, y'all? We complain about the way we look. Well, when are we going to get up in the morning and go for the walk, right? Go for that morning walk. It's actually quite relaxing. When are we going to go get the gym membership, y'all? And actually use it, right? When are we going to do that? So I'm just telling you guys, life is what you make it. Complaints don't change anything. That's a pet peeve of mine. I see and hear a lot of complaining people on YouTube, and it drives me crazy. It really does. It's okay to have a fault with something. It's okay to tell your story, but you need to be doing something about it at the same time. If you have grievances, you need to be fighting to get those things taken care of. Nobody, in the words of my grandmother, nobody wants to hear you whine. Nobody wants to hear you cry. Okay? Now, this is just the hard truth of it. I'm here to tell y'all the hard truth. Okay? Now, I'm not looking at y'all, but I'm about to come back to y'all. I'm going to do one good song. I think you guys are really going to like this song. This is another classic song that the church plays when a person passes. So I'm going to share this with you all. Nope, that's not the button I want. Hold on. This thing is weird. Okay. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Where is it? Go back.
At this church, I mean, growing up here playing drums and things like that, and being around this lady is just a phenomenal thing. I mean, I've traveled all over the world, and she is one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life, ever. I'm telling you. But you know what? The enemy has tried to attack her voice, and her voice has gotten weak. But I believe through the prayers right now that she's going to sing this song better than she's ever done before. Would you welcome your very own Limey Patton?
If you want to know where I'm going,
soon. If anybody wants to know, if anybody asks you, yeah, yeah, where I'm going, yeah, yeah, where I'm going soon. Oh, I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. Going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, 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 oh. I'm going up yonder. Going up, going up, going up yonder. Yes, I am. Going up yonder to be with my Lord. Well, 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 I can take the pain, yes I can, the heartache steady bring. There's a comfort in knowing I'll soon be gone. Oh, God's gonna give me the grace. I'm gonna run, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna run this race until I see my Savior face to face. Oh, going up yonder, going up yonder, going up yonder, going up yonder, to be with my Lord. Yes, I am. I'm going up, going up. Oh, yes, I am. To be with my Lord, my Savior. Yeah, going up, going up, going up. He promised, yes, to be with my Lord, my Lord, my to be with my Lord, yes, I am. Wow. Anybody asks you where I'm going very soon. Anybody wants to know? Anybody ask you where I'm going? Where I'm going? Where I'm going? Where I'm going? So, I'm going to be under your fire. God gave me a promise of going up yonder. He promised. I'm gonna be the man. I'm gonna be the man. Girl. Yes, honey, that's how you do it, baby. Yes, they having straight church. Now that's what we call church, honey. Straight church up in there. Yes, honey. She sang that song, honey. She didn't sing the song. She sang that song. Okay, but as the video, first of all, thank you all. MTGV, I see you, boo. And of course, Mela, thank you. I hope I said hello to you too, honey. Misha Meck. Yes, all y'all in here. Sheila E. Everybody, thank you guys so much for coming. Paper Chase Me. I saw you in here earlier too, boo. Thank you so much. Y'all, YouTube is a funny space. And sometimes I have done videos with all good intentions and it still upsets somebody. I guarantee you this is not meant to upset anybody. This is not about faith as far as religion. I don't care what your religion are. I don't care what your race is. I really don't. I have my opinions and I speak them and that's it. Like I said, I've done shows in the past criticizing just people who are not true believers or whatever. But I've also criticized my own self. I came on here and said some of the things I have done and how I felt bad about them. Now I prayed for forgiveness. And I also, whatever person I tried that I was unbecoming to, I asked for their forgiveness. And then I move on. I don't hold on to grudges, you guys. And I just try to take life day by day. I try to learn and I try to share what I learned with you all. Not y'all, but I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if I get a comment about, well, which one are you? Hebrew, Israelite, or Christian? I've gotten those comments before in the past, and let me just make it very clear. I do not care what your faith is. I care about your heart. I care about your heart. And if you're a believer, period. How you service the Most High is your business. And I just hope that it is all well. Okay, because it's well with my soul. Thank you. Oh, D. Durrell. Hey, good morning, sweetie. Let me see what y'all are saying. Is this the end, or would you like to talk with us? Oh, well, I was going to end it, but I would like to hear what you have to say because I feel like you have to say something. So I would drop it. I would like to hear what you have to say, Mela, and then we can end it together. Let me look at my notes. I think I've hit it all. Yes. So I'm gonna invite my sister Mela to come up here. Maybe she could send us off, honey. Oh Lord, I keep on hitting the wrong button. Oh yeah, this is it. Share the link. Maybe Mela could send us off. I'd like to hear what you're saying. Okay, good. Now let me delete this thing here. Still got this in the back. Stop screen. Okay. No, come tell me what you have to say. Let me tell y'all something. My grandmother was sick for a while, y'all. And so hey, Life of a Grandmaster Troll. How you doing, sweetie? How you doing? If you guys are just coming in, you might want to watch it from the beginning. I know it's kind of long. Try not to make it too long, but try not to make it too short because I really wanted to get some points across. Oh, Mela said it is well. It is well, sweetie. And I want us all to be able to say that, at the end. But Mela, I'll wait on you, sweetie, if you want to come up and say anything. Yeah, this one is just about death, grieving, but also making sure that you're at peace when you leave the earth. That's important. Living your life to the best, when I say the best, I mean living a quality life. That's what I'm talking about. Helping people. Leaving a mark, a legacy. Hold on. Hey, sweetie.
You made my day. You brought the sunshine in my life.
Girl.
Listen, woman. You got the sunshine.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt this morning after I prayed. I felt really good. and
That's
uplifted.
what it does. That's what it does. And you learned it from the
Yeah.
absolute most prominent woman in your life.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Mela, since I'm gonna let you talk, I want to tell because I forgot to tell y'all the stories. So another story, really quick, because I meant to tell you all these things that I didn't know about my grandmother. So another thing I did not know, um, there was plenty, but which one do I want to tell y'all? So there was a time in the South, way, way, way long ago. Of course, we had the Black Code laws, and my uncle was telling the story of how um, the first time my grandmother voted. And during this time, most blacks in the South could not read, and they knew that. So before you could vote, get your license to vote or whatever, you had to read like the amendment, part of the amendment or something like that. And my grandmother read it, and she told the story about how when she read it so well, the man was like, okay, you don't need to read it anymore. You don't need to read it anymore. And my grandmother said, no, you wanted me to read it. I'm going to read the entire thing. I'm going to read the whole thing. You're going to listen to me read the whole thing. But everybody in the church laughed because if you ever came across her, that's the type of person. She had that strong personality type. I could honestly see her saying something like that because that's really her personality type. It's always been. Another funny story is, they still have, I guess they call them in-house housekeepers or maids, I guess. But back then they used to be called, not the help, but I forgot what he called it. But my grandmother did a job, taking a job living. Basically, a lot of the black women would take their jobs actually living with the white families, helping to clean their house. They would do it for, some of them lived with them, and some of them did it all day and wouldn't get off till the midnight hour, honey, literally. And my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
yes, let me tell you,
From can't see day to can't see night.
yes. And my grandmother did that for a little while. And then she said that it was not for her, honey. She said she could not do it. And I just laughed because that's such her personality. But go ahead, Mela. I'm going to let some other people up. Good morning, everybody. Kenshawn and Queen.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just I'm just interested in the lyrics from the song
Oh, yeah.
that you provided, and also songs that were brought to mind. You know, I don't know how the tempo goes, but I do recall it. No matter what the problem, God can always solve them. Cast your
Um,
cares upon Him.
oh, I
Find
remember.
Him in yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what the problem, dum ba dum ba dum. God can always solve them. Dum ba dum ba dum. You know,
Uh-huh.
find Him today. He will brighten up your day, and He will bump your wing, and He'll hear when you pray. He will hear when you pray. That
Wednesday.
is what I'm saying. Your higher source of energy, inspiration, determination, everything that is for you and your longevity. God bless approaching, you know, the
Oh,
longevity in your life. God bless that because look, prayer makes a difference. That's all I have to say. We have a new panelist. I'm going to be quiet.
no,
But
you're
prayer
right.
prayer creates wonders in your life. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Amen. Hey, Kenshawn, did you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, first of all, good morning to everyone. Good morning to the guests.
Good
Um,
morning.
I just jumped in like about 5 minutes ago, so I
Okay.
didn't hear I didn't hear the conversation that you was having before. But if you would like, can you tell me what you were talking about? I do want to touch on a few things what I was hearing you
Sure.
last speak about, but so
No, we were just talking the whole show, really. And I'll just let you know it. The show is not. I had an experience yesterday of burying my grandmother. She's 98 years old. And so I just want to say I appreciate all your condolences. But let me tell you, she lived a full life and I'm at peace and she was at peace and I know it. So it actually was almost like a going away party. It was almost like a celebration of her life and not something sorrowful. So we were just talking about life and how short it is and how important it is to get things done, make your apologies, make your mend your fences. And when you change your life for the better, don't let people discourage you. Be at peace with yourself at the end of days. So that's pretty much what the whole show was about. And I shared some music that
Okay.
encourages that. But go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, condolences. My, you know, deepest because um I lost my mom and my dad. So
Oh my God.
I, yeah, I understand. You know, all of the ins and outs and the when the feeling comes to you, when it doesn't, if you're at the funeral, whether it's a month after the funeral when it really hits you or it hits you right during the moment. But
Mhm.
all I can say is it will forge you. It will forge you to level up mentally. And knowing that that person is now with you while you walk always, as opposed to being alive there with you,
Mhm.
that'll also cause you to level up. Um, I I find that my nature as a man is to come to the funeral and send condolences, but I have to go back out there in the world and compete. It's a war out there. So I realize as a man, I can't sit there and, my dad, mom is gone. The time that I take to do anything in my nurture, in my nature, there's other men out there out competing me. So I have to turn that page pretty quick. This
No,
this is
I'm
mhm,
listening to everything you say. Go ahead, sweetie. I want to hear what you're saying. And then
mhm.
we're going to talk about this a little because I actually, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's one of the things of nature. And this is a good time for me to point this out. A woman's nature is loving and she's caring and she's nurturing. And this is the moment that we would men, boys, nephews, grandsons, we lean on the aunts, we lean on mothers and grandmothers for this kind of time. But the nature of a man and the capitalism and the
Mm.
competing to take advantage of what someone else is lacking, and then I make a sale and I help my family with financial freedom. So this is the world that men live in. And I
Mm.
think we can't leave on our nurture too long. Yes,
Well,
men have feminine traits, but we have to turn that off because there's other men out there doing the exact same thing, doubling, tripling my efforts to get ahead.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so once I get ahead and I make upwards of 50 to $100,000 a year, this is my purpose. It doesn't matter what my gift is and how I harness it. I've turned the page of my feminine nurture. I've buried my mom and dad, and I have to turn that page as quick as possible. And that's just an example of the power of nurture of a female and the power and nature of I have to kill. I have to go out there and basically slaughter to get because I am a player in a video game against men.
I want to say, and I know Mela, I could tell that Mela wants to respond. I wanted to say something really quick. First of all, I am sorry because
Yeah,
you know,
condolences.
yes, definitely. Two parents at once. That's horrible. I couldn't imagine. I'm so sorry. Um, I will say you're right. At the funeral, my uncle broke down crying, and I've never
Mhm.
seen him cry. It actually was the most rattling thing for me to see. He almost raised me to a point, so it's like my superhero needing me. But I was honored. I was honored to be his shoulder.
Mhm.
And some y'all are that way for us too. It's but I want to give Mela a chance to say something.
It's um what he says is poignant because for two reasons. What you said is poignant as well, and I'll speak to yours, Mahogany, first. It was eye-catching to find that the men in my family who have been strong and slaying dragons were crying in my presence at the passing of a loved one. That is, when you first experience it, it's eye-catching. It's like, wait a minute, men don't cry, and that's the burden. When he talks about men look to the woman or female, when men look to uh the feminine essence amongst them to girdle what it is to hold their emotions for them while they go out there and slay dragons, there comes a time when they realize, is this all there is? I'm just destined for the purpose of being a man that can't face reaction to loss and grief, on a personal level when it comes to family. And that is a burden for a man. And I'll tell you why in this instance, my father-in-law specifically, when my brother-in-law was killed in a car accident, and there it was, of course, sudden, unexpected, and there was all this sorrow. He was the one that was not shedding a tear, and that's his own son, right? And my husband was like, Dad, you didn't even cry at the funeral. What's up with that? And he told him, and my husband told him, somebody had to be strong. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I just think about what this gentleman just said. By the way, my name is Mela. Nice to meet you. I just think about what this gentleman just
Nice
said
to meet you too, Mela.
regarding the strength imposed at times can become so habituary. It's a habit, right? It's a habit. Like, okay, I gotta be strong every day. I gotta go slay these dragons. I gotta make this money. I gotta do this. I gotta do, it's that gotta do, gotta do. Or else I'm gonna look bad as a man. And then there comes a time when he's allowed to be human. And because he's in the habit of living up to the expectations of manhood, that he doesn't know how to do it. And
Well,
that was a very deep thing to hear.
and may I just say,
Did I get it
um,
wrong?
well, for me, right, it took me some time. I don't know if you ever watched Medea, and she spoke about, not she, Medea spoke about when the light turns on in your 30s. Have you ever heard Medea say that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So when the light turns on for a man, it is not a burden, it is a purpose. He accepts it, and then he knows that I must do 2 classes at EDX or Corsia. I must now go out and run my emails or market myself. I must do more than the other man. Not because the see women are going to be innate nurturers. And I hear it in your voice and your speech. You're looking out for me. The, the society doesn't care about if they understand me or if they cater to my wants. There's over 50 bills from 1930 for straight black men that has not been passed. In terms of Congress and Senate, there's bills that have been sent, there's petitions been sent to tea parties. They're not passing the bills for straight black men. They're not. So that compounds the weight that a straight black man has to now go out and, once again, I said, 50,000 is not enough. 100,000 is where I need to be before I even pursue my wife. Because why? It's my purpose. Therefore, it is not a burden. It is what if I accept it, and then I get the grand things that come with it, then I give my wife the environment that she deserves, which is she's capable of having 24 hours a day to do anything that she wants because the environment was created there for her. So the burden becomes a big reward. I can leave something in the will. There's an estate left for my kids and her. These are the things that is a purpose of a man, period. I accept it.
Oh, well, thank you. I want to give this is for the first time that Queen Sunshine. I'm sorry, I'm so blind. Sunkiss has ever been on my panel. I want to welcome her. Thank you, sis, for coming up. Did you want to say anything, sweetie?
I'm gonna change my name to Queen Sunshine.
I'm sorry. People don't know this, but I need to be wearing my glasses. When I tell y'all I'm blind and these words be coming up so small on my screen, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Queen.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Nella. Look, every time I got on the panel, they be like, "Oh, it's Queen Miss Sunshine." I say, you know what? I'm just changing to Miss Sunshine.
But you have the spirit of Sunshine. She is always. I love her spirit, and I love the fact that you come on camera and you do your thing, honey. I definitely be watching, whether you see me or not. I watch a lot of y'all, but I've come to love just watching you work out, watching you cook the other day. You have a great sense of humor. It's natural. And anyway, I'm glad to have all you guys on the panel. Ken Sean, I think we've known each other now for a year. Mela, I've known you for 3 years. Met you over there on Bomb Cherries. Sunshine, I just met you about this year, but you're so funny. Did you want to talk about anything, sweet? Did you have any message about grieving or anything?
So for grieving, I think the worst experience I had was the first time I got pregnant. My first pregnancy, I had to bury that baby. And that was really difficult because, nobody expects to go in the hospital to have a baby and come out empty handed. And um I ended up having to go
I'm
and get
sorry. I'm sorry.
medic I had to get medication for that.
No
And
doubt. No doubt.
for and I didn't know it. It was a lot that had went on during that time. So after we buried the baby, I ended up moving away from home and I was by myself, and they gave me this teddy bear when I was in the hospital. And I had bonded with this teddy bear. And I was walking around. I treated the teddy bear like a baby. I used to change the teddy bear diaper. I used to swaddle it. I used to hold it in my arms while I was cooking. All of this was normal to me. And what made me realize that it wasn't normal was I went to the car one day to grocery shop and I had that bear with me. I opened the back seat to put the bear in the car seat, and there was no car seat there, and I flipped shit in the parking lot. Like I was acting a fool because I could not figure out what happened to my baby's car seat. And I think I clowned for about 5 minutes. And I don't know, I looked in my arms and I'm like, girl, that's a teddy bear. And then I was looking around. Luckily, I was in a military environment and everybody was at work. So nobody saw me acting a fool in the parking lot. So I just closed the back door, got in the car, and drove on to behavioral health. And I was like, y'all got to get somebody I can talk to right now because I'm losing it. And they told me, oh, it's probably, depression from grief and these things. And, gave me some medicine. And I took the medicine for about 3 months and I started to feel better. So I ended up throwing the pills away. But I thought it was over. 2 years later, I couldn't get out of bed and I just cried all the time and I didn't know why. So I went back to behavioral health. And the man kept asking me if anything traumatic had happened, and I kept telling him no. And he was like, "Well, do you have any children?" And I was like, "Oh, I had one baby, but he died." And he's like, "How long ago was that?" And I was like 2 years. And he's like, "You told me nothing traumatic happened." I was like, "Well, I wouldn't think it would be that. That happened 2 years ago." And he said, "Grief never goes away." He said it comes in waves. He said you could be 86 years old and you'll think about that baby and it might bring tears to your eyes. And at the time,
That's right. That's
Go
right.
ahead. Hmm.
at the time, I didn't realize that. I thought, you cried and you get over it, because that's always the way I've been when it came to funerals. I'm like, go to the funeral. Oh, well, they dead now. Time to go. Life goes on. That's always been my attitude. So to hear that, oh, grief is a lifelong thing, that was news to me. And, you know, I've always been the eyeball. So when it comes to not showing vulnerability and stuff like that, that's easy for me to do. So when he said, he's like, "Oh, if you feel like you need to cry, you should just cry." I said, "Well, I don't want to do that because then people want to walk up on you and ask you questions." And he said, "You just tell them you fine and keep walking. Just take your Kleenex, wipe your face, keep going. Tell them you okay." That was like the best advice that man could have ever given me. Cause I didn't know it was okay to tell people, and it sounds silly, but I didn't know it was okay to cry and tell folks you fine and keep on going on about your business.
That's right. You don't have
Yes,
to explain why you cry. You just tell them I'm all right and keep it, because grief doesn't have an expiration date. Okay? And it does come in waves. And when those times come and you're amongst strangers, for instance, you could be at the damn, excuse my language, you could be at the grocery store checkout and something reminds you of something, right? And here comes the waterworks, and the
Yep.
cashier is looking at you like, "Are you okay?"
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, "I'm fine."
Yeah.
And
And
oh, go
you
ahead.
you know you just continue on because it comes in waves, just like you said. I'm so glad you mentioned that. It does. Grief doesn't have an expiration date. It comes in waves. And
Uh,
shout out to
sorry,
the
sorry.
soul that's looking over you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I
Yes,
wanted to
ma'am.
say yes. That story. So you said so much in that story because, like Mela just said, and you so eloquently put the fact that it's reoccurring, and that you put that it's okay to cry. It really is okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing to cry. It feels really good to let all that stuff out, to let all those emotions out, and that's kind of what we were talking about today, about it not about you reach a stage where okay you mourn, but then you not get over it, but you kind of you go into a different stage of acceptance and being at peace, to where it's literally a going away for
Yeah.
someone versus a funeral. So um oh queen, you're, and another thing, and maybe you don't have to talk about it, but I think it's something that we don't talk about often, and that is postpartum. And it is a real thing. I went through postpartum, and I know women that have gone through postpartum, and it's something that just I would like to delve into, or hear, or see somebody delve
I
into.
can, I can, of course, because see, one thing that is certain is there is love, but the other thing that is certain through the law of attraction is you cannot hold love in your soul if you do not know truth and injustice. So if you do anything of injustice for your own reasons for us or for pleasing someone else, once it's out of justice and truth frequency, you now disable yourself from receiving love. So once you understand that, then you understand that we have to know where the planets and how, because we can grow on a new moon, we can grow food and plants and nuts and sprouts on a full moon. So we have to understand where everything is, the planets, how the energies and the polarities affect us. We just can't use the new moon and the full moon and the eclipse for when we
What the hell?
want. Pardon me.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I was talking about having a woman talk about postpartum, which is very, very delicate.
Yeah, it is, but I think that's when you understand it. Okay, for instance, I just found out that on October 22nd, it's going to be when Venus goes into a 250-year rebirth.
Are you in?
Right.
Apologies. Are
Mm.
you indicating that postpartum depression
Mhm.
is attributed to the cycles of the moon?
No, the solution is knowing
When
where they are, and so you can take advantage of what's happening now.
All right. Biologically speaking,
Mhm.
I would disagree that it has
Okay.
anything to do with the tides and waves in the universe, and because we are all individuals.
But you
We're
understand, I'm
individuals.
saying once you reach in that state, the solution is now to know where these are. Because, like, you can be 86 and remember that a child died and shed a tear even late in your life. But the part of your change will come when you understand all of these things take place. This is the only way you can now make yourself understand truth, number one, and
Okay,
then justice. And then
okay,
you can receive love.
okay. That's the difference
Mm.
between the masculine versus the feminine energy, that we, for whatever reason, allow ourselves to experience what is hormonally going on with us. And men, fortunately, you afford yourselves the opportunity to compartmentalize things in a way where you you put it in a compartment. Women, it's not necessarily a compartment for us
That's a
when
power
we
for you all.
experience.
That's
Pardon
not a
me.
weakness. That's not a weakness.
I
no,
never
Wow.
said
What
we
in the
were
hell?
weak. I
Mm.
never said we were
but
weak. I said that's the
No, I mean
difference.
when sunshine,
that
I
nurture,
mean,
and taking
Oh,
care of the
Jesus.
what
moment,
did
that
you
is a
say, sweetie?
powerful thing.
Okay,
Go
hold
ahead.
on.
This is why we can take care of children, because
Mhm.
there are men who won't tolerate, and I use the word intentionally. There are men who won't tolerate the whims, emphasis on whims, of a child. A child experiences whims, right? They're discovering their little bodies and what they're going through. And women, because of who we are physiologically, we can accommodate those whims. Men, because they compartmentalize what would otherwise be known as their quote unquote feelings, emotions, and all this other kind of stuff that makes them more nurturing, because they compartmentalize that in a little corner somewhere in the back of their psyche and consider it not a priority. It doesn't allow them to tolerate the whims of a child. And so I do acknowledge that you recognize as a man what it takes for you to be on your purpose. I do acknowledge that. What I am emphasizing to you is that you have a woman on this panel that just announced that she experienced a loss, and you have another woman that is about to discuss postpartum depression, which is amongst women we consider to be an authentic
Come on.
situation. And for us to think that the sun, the moons, and the stars has anything to do with it doesn't compute. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay,
Okay,
I
and
think
I want, no, no,
Mhm.
I'm trying to be as respectful as I can, but that comment about the discussion of postpartum, and I agree, it's really, and that's why we need to have the discussion, because I really don't think that men really understand what that's like for a woman, and you can't, because you're not a woman and you've never gave birth and lost a baby, or lost a baby in the midst of carrying a baby.
Yeah,
right?
it's just the
I
testosterone.
have,
It's just the
but
testosterone
no
versus
one never asked me, but I have.
You've
This
given.
nigga
Oh
said,
my God.
Oh
just
yes,
to
I have.
grow.
I
So
would like Queen, because I actually was addressing Queen. I want her to say, and then Kenshawn, because I think you are just, I don't know what you're doing right now, but
no,
um,
but see, the thing is how I dealt with mine, and I was gonna get to that. See,
You
I'm
need
in
to
the
get
same
to it.
place. I'm now in the same place as you, and I was going to get to that, but this is how I dealt with it. Once again, Mela, I'm showing you once it comes to you, because you can only control how you react, right? You cannot control when a group of people or a thing happens to you. You can't control how it comes, but you can control how you react. And I'm trying to teach you how do
Ooh,
you react once it
no, you did.
happens to you. So you're saying that these things have nothing to do with
yeah,
when this happened, postpartum happens to a woman. What I'm saying to you is, yes, if it does happen and you're in the state now, these are the solutions. So you probably got that a little mixed up.
I want
Moons and stars are not going to
Can you
bring
go
you to
away? Can you
postpartum.
leave? Can you
So
hop down, please? Can you leave, please?
the solution. You saying the solutions are to study the moon cycles?
the solutions is to know yourself. And if you
But you
are
said moon cycles, bro.
Can
all of the planets,
You was talking about the
all of
full
them,
moon and this moon and that moon. You were talking about
actually,
moon
girl,
cycles.
you
so that
forgot
That's
about
means,
Venus and its 250-year cycle of whatever the fuck.
well, if you want to understand, you can ask me. But if you
We don't
didn't
want to
listen,
ask you. We want you to shut up.
well, I won't take that disrespect. But what I would
What
say is,
disrespect? I'm
I
being
am
honest with
sorry.
you. This is
I'm
honest. We
sorry.
want you to shut up.
I'm sorry that that happened to you. And I'm sorry for the loss of your kid. And I'm sorry that the postpartum discussion came up, and I had
kids
solutions because
are
so
I
wait
dealt
a
goats.
with it.
minute.
Kids are
Eh,
goats. She has lost a child, not a
I
kid.
have too. I have
A
too.
kid is a goat.
I want to say
How
something.
intellectual could you be by
Oh,
using the word
Thank you,
kid
Miller.
in relationship to the child that she lost?
I
and
lost a kid too.
that,
It's
Well,
not a
you lost
kid.
a kid. Congratulations.
It's
I
a
ain't losing no
child.
kids. I ain't never had no kids. I've always had children. So that's your
So
business.
I
so
want y'all to do
but
me a
now
favor.
that I'm in the same boat,
See,
I
this is
want
that
y'all to
Really, I
understand.
want y'all
disassociation
to
that
do me
Now
a
men
that
do.
favor.
now that I am in the same boat and I have lost a kid as well, and I'm teaching how I dealt
Yo,
with
bro, can
mine.
you leave? Because you
This
can't teach
is
nobody shit.
this,
Nobody wants to hear from you. If you
this is
not
now.
receptive to the teacher can't teach. So please shut the fuck up.
This is
So
what I'm gonna do.
And I'm
Just
once
trying to
again,
be cool about it. I'm losing patience.
it's
And when I
okay.
lose
It's okay.
patience because I
but
can't
ain't
deal with
nobody do
ignorant
nothing to
shit,
you.
I
Ain't
can't
Hold
do
on.
nobody
I'm gonna
nothing
did
but
give
nothing to you.
disrespect
everybody.
you.
Okay,
Will
hold
But
on.
you
ain't nobody
please
Hold
did.
on
shut
a
up?
second. Hold on. Hold on. Everybody just hold on really quick. I just want to say something. I don't know what else to do. If you guys will be quiet really quick, I won't drop you down. I just want to say this. So, Kenshawn, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm going to bring you back up. I don't think what you're understanding is after her story, and I brought up postpartum, and I brought postpartum up because it is a real thing. It is a grieving process. It is a process of loss, and it is real, and it's very important. In her story, you're being you're coming off as insensitive. You know, all of us, we only know each other through YouTube, and so I've never known you to be insensitive intentionally. You are a very I guess, study by the moon and stars type of person, but you got to understand everybody does not. And I personally didn't know what you were talking about for a second. And so there's an appropriateness when you're having a conversation of how to bring things into it. Just like I noticed when we were talking about grieving, you tried, this is just what I was getting. If I'm wrong, correct me later. Correct me before you leave. But I noticed that you tried to make it almost about sexes, when we were talking about men and women, and it is true, men and women do grieve differently, but everything, y'all, is not about battle of the sexes. You want to talk about, you went through it, but maybe you could incorporate yourself in the conversation afterwards, apologize for her loss, and then say, yes, and explain that men go through a similar well, not a similar, because I honestly don't think you guys really understand, but your woman went through the same thing and you felt similar feelings of depression or something. But don't just diminish somebody's feelings and start talking about the moon and the stars. I just think that's, whether you realize it or not, it just seemed very inappropriate. I'm gonna give you a chance to respond. I would like, since all this came about with Sunkiss, I just want Sunkiss to say something, then I'm gonna let you know. Y'all, this is hard for me. But go
Oh,
ahead,
what's
sweet.
be okay. It's okay. It just
No, I
I mean,
didn't want you to leave upset. This was supposed to be a positive show.
I'm not upset. That some of these men is crazy.
Well, are you okay? Because I would like to end. I want y'all to end it on good terms. Are you okay if I let him back up here and I'll be quiet? And I think Mello, okay. So I'm gonna let you. I'll let you two.
Please don't cuss him out. Please don't cuss him out.
He's
just a man. He's just a man. Please don't cuss him out.
Okay. I ain't gonna cuss him out.
Go. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay.
I've said what I said. I said I apologize for her loss. I had a loss of a child myself. I was getting to that because I listened to Mella's story. I listened to Mahogany's and yours. So that means it was time for me to say I had a loss. Not only my mom and dad, they died at different times apart. I was bearing a child in at the time we were engaged. We had asked the parents for our value. We had went through it the right way, and things happened and we lost a child. But the thing is, I didn't want to bring that up because I wanted to bring up how I found myself in that. And how I found myself in that, it simply is I am a Cancerian. And I understand that there is a retrograde. There is times when you cannot do certain things and it's not a good time to do certain things. So I understood myself more. I know my sun sign, and I know when the planets are moving, basically, Mella, I know what is going on and the energies and the polarities. Certain things you cannot start doing, certain things will never get done. Communications will be difficult because planets don't care. So I ended up learning myself more. And when I learned myself more, this is when I developed a fiery purpose for myself. So in my mom's loss, in my dad's loss, in my child's loss before birth, I can say that what I'm doing now is pouring into people, and my business is what I do. But these people who have left me, they are so much entrenched in me. All right. And my attitude and the bliss that I get for doing and pouring back into people. It makes me achieve great attitudes, even in adversity. So no, I'm not saying I don't know what a postpartum is. I believe that I believe, in my opinion, that a lot of diagnosed mental attributes by the pharmaceuticals and the FCIA, they are fake, just like Dr. Umar Johnson feels, just like many other Dr. Shiva feels. But my point is, if you want to say that is a depression or a part that you can go and take medications and meds for, I can tell you this: you are worthy enough. You are better than that, and you can go out and have a fresh start tomorrow just by implementing better habits day by day, hour by hour, and one day at a time. You will be the best version of you. Now that has nothing to do
what type of habits?
Habits, good habits that would bring initiative.
What specifically?
I don't know what your gift. I'll have to have a conversation with you because it has to do with your gifts.
So it's a mystery. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
So you're speaking mysteries and not solutions, correct?
Mela, I don't know you, whatever your gifts and
You're
talents is,
speaking
and I have a
mysteries
conversation
and
with
not
you.
solutions,
Well,
correct?
if you want to speak and cut me off, I will let you speak. Obviously, you're saying there's a
It's a
mystery
yes
and I
or
don't
no
know you.
question.
It's a mystery because I don't know you. I have to get to know you.
Okay, so it is a
I
mystery.
know
All right.
Mahogany's talents, for instance. I can give you an example with Mahogany. I can give you an example with someone I know. Do you want me to give you an example with Mahogany?
I just want to.
I think
Oh
that you
God,
declare
because
yourself to be your own God, and with
No,
that in mind
no.
of
I
my
said
assumption,
nothing. I
I'm
said nothing
questioning
bad about.
whether you
I
actually
grew up in Church
intend.
of Christ. I grew up in the Church of Christ, ma'am.
No, well, what I'm saying is your power
See,
source, correct? Your power
you,
source.
I'm giving you a solution to postpartum. We're talking
Your
about that.
power source. Okay,
No,
with Christ.
this is so
Hold
you
on,
can be
because
a better
I love Christ.
person.
I'm a Christ follower, like
Keep in
for real.
mind, we're talking about being a better
I have
person
not used
after a
profanity.
loss
I
of
have
a
not
loved one.
disrespected you. I'm
I'm just
seeking.
saying.
I'm a student
No,
of
but I'm
life,
keeping
and
it
I'm
to the
seeking
topic.
understanding.
Mhm,
I want to make that clear.
mhm.
okay, Queen, Queen,
Uh,
I want you to say something if you need to, and then I actually,
That's
I
actually truly disrespectful, and it just shows that you
No, can't
most
you
women can be
realize that this is
children.
a panel full of women
Most
and you
women
is
can
the
be children.
eyeball?
This is true. Because
You don't
that
have
for
no pride.
I,
Let
I
me
think
tell
that
you.
the
you were singing
amplification of
over
my
the
voice
lady trying to tell
bothered
me
you.
something, and you were singing over
well,
me. For some
that's why I'm
reason,
gonna give
that's
her a chance.
childlike. I don't know what you're trying to prove, but go ahead.
Let Queen talk, and then
Okay,
one at a
so
time. Okay. Hey, Mulatto.
after that child died, I got pictures of the baby because there was a nonprofit organization called Now Lay Me Down to Sleep. And they send photographers out to the hospital to get pictures with the mom and the baby, family, whatever. And they had a forum that I had joined. And inside of that forum, I met a whole lot of other women that had also lost their children. And it was helpful for me to know that it was other people out there that had gone through the same thing. But like some of those women, I had put my phone number out there for them to be able to call me. This woman, she had a shrine to her baby that she basically sat at 24 hours a day, and she could not function. And if you got that type of grief going on, go get you some medication, because sometimes you ain't got it in you to change the habit. Sometimes you need a little help to balance out the chemicals in your brain and everything else, your emotions. You need to balance that out to even be get up. It is people that find themselves full of grief. They can't even get out the bed. You don't want that type of grief to linger around, because that's a deep, dark hole of depression that's really difficult to get out of. There's no shame in going to go get help. There's no shame in taking medication if you need it. And I really do believe, especially amongst the melanated community, we look at getting therapy and getting help as a bad thing. That will help you become better so that you can navigate life.
You're
And
talking to
having
a
been somebody,
certified
You're
excuse me, I'm
interrupting
neuroscientist.
her.
still
I'm just
talking.
letting you know.
I'm
You're
still
talking to
talking.
a
I'm
You're being
you're
still
talking to
talking.
someone
disrespectful.
who's certified in the healthcare,
Shut
man.
while I'm
Okay.
speaking.
Queen.
I'm
Oh,
just letting you see.
Now, don't you ain't
It's
letting
really
me
on
shit.
you.
Shut the fuck up. Now, I
But you're
done lost
talking to
patience with
someone
your
who is
stupid
in
ass. I'm
healthcare
not talking
certified. I'm
to
just
you.
letting you
I'm
know.
talking to
oh,
the audience that might listen to the playback. You stupid motherfucker. Won't you shut the fuck up?
Go ahead. You're right.
Shut
Really not hurting me
up.
by
Shut
that's your
up.
frequency.
Shut
Go
up.
ahead.
Shut up. Goddamn. Shut up.
This is what we got to
Go
choose from,
get
men.
help.
Men
Do
in
Queen,
the
you
I'm
need
gonna
help?
give
comments.
her a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance,
Bro,
Sean.
shut
Please.
the fuck up. I didn't say a word while you sat up there and pontificated all your fucking bullshit.
Mahogany, but we
You
gonna need
so
to
much
talk
of a
about the House of
conversationalist. Your
Dragons.
dumb ass
I
can't see
I
that
hope
it's
you
women up
I
here
hope you
talking
open up a
about
panel
women's
What
for
are you
House
talking
of
issues,
about?
Dragons.
and
Slicing
you
my
ain't got the
hair?
balls to get
What
your
is he
stupid
talking
ass
about?
down.
Wait a minute. This is what I'm gonna do. Queen, you stay up here. Everybody, just for a second, get down. Then I'm gonna let Kenshawn back up, and then I'm probably gonna or just what the hell, y'all forgive me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Hold on. Jesus, what did I just do?
You could let me down and then let her
I
speak.
just
That's
wanted to
okay.
talk about the medication.
Yeah, it's helpful. I had to take it, and then Mahogany kick herself out.
She probably wanted to bring us down, and she left. She probably put herself off by mistake. Go ahead, Sunkiss. Everybody loves you here.
I don't love you. I wish you shut the fuck up. I don't know why it's so hard for you to shut up. I don't know why it's so hard for you to understand that these are women talking about women issues, and what you doing is triggering the fuck out
Do
of
you
everybody,
hate
and you
men?
won't shut the fuck up. I don't
Do
know
you
why
hate
you can't
men?
understand that. Where's
Do
your
you
woman?
hate men
Where
though?
your fiance at? Did you marry her?
It seems to me like
Did you
you
marry
hate
your
men.
fiance? That's
Hold
a
on,
yes or no question.
sweetie. I'm gonna have Can y'all just
Oh,
mute up and go one at a time? Queen, I wanted you to finish. Then I'm gonna let Kenshawn, and then we'll probably just end it. Maybe. Uh,
no, I just want to say one thing. Mahogany, I'd like for you to open up a panel about Game of Thrones. We could talk about episode 8.
okay.
Uh and other than that, I wish these
Why
two
did
great
you
ladies,
call me? Why did you say I'm disrespectful?
You called her
Mel
disrespectful.
He
Mela.
said I'm disrespectful. Yeah.
No, I said the ladies disrespectful for singing while you were
Oh
trying
wow!
to say
Wow.
something for me. To why was she singing while you were trying
Mel,
to
Who
say
was
something to
singing?
me?
no, but so this is what was going
No
on.
one was singing.
Yes, but it's okay because Queen was trying to
What
bring
was?
herself. Queen was trying to bring herself down. Mela, you and I are old school. We've been through this with people
When
on.
did
Mela,
I
I've
sing?
No, not you,
not
not you,
you,
Mela.
not you. You were trying to say something to me, and I think
It's
she was trying
fine.
to calm herself down, but she was singing while you were talking, which is rude. And I couldn't hardly hear what you were saying, Mela.
It
So
It's
I
it would
me.
appear
I
that
don't
you were accusing me of being disrespectful.
No, she wasn't talking.
no
She
no no
wasn't
no
talking
no
about you. But
no.
I would like for Queen to finish
But
her.
Mela, me and you, I think me and you have talked on other panels before. The
Okay.
Fight Club and maybe a
I
few more
would have
panels, but
no recollection of that.
you have no recollection of that.
I
Okay,
would have
maybe
no
that.
recollection. That's why I said, my name is Mela. It's nice to meet you.
Uh,
Thereby, the understanding is that I have no recollection of speaking with you before. Does that make
okay,
sense?
yeah, it does. But
All right.
Okay,
I
give
took
me
you.
1 second.
That might have meant I took you for someone else, but it's neither here nor there. I speak to hundreds of people on YouTube. But the thing is, I wish you two ladies a great day.
No, I don't want you to leave.
Mm,
Hold on. Queen, go ahead and finish what you were saying. Y'all hold on in the back, and then I'll let each of you one at a time say your
I'm
piece. Go ahead, sweetie.
I'm just saying, if you need to go get help, go get help. If they give you some medication, take it. It'll help you feel better, and you'll be able to move along. Because grief can be very serious, and that ain't a place you want to stay in.
And you know what? Um, I understand what you're saying. I've there's so much in this show that I didn't even expect to happen, and sometimes I debate whether I should divulge this or divulge that. But I have family members on antidepressant medication, friends
Hmm.
that are on it, and so I know that you can get to a state where it does help you because it does regulate your hormones and your brain activity, and those things do contribute. I think the issue with you and Kinshawn is I forgot what he calls it. Maybe he'll explain it to me. But he I guess studies the moon and the stars and all that stuff. I know nothing about that.
I
Um,
know about astrology. Keyshawn sound like an asshole. He sound like one of these men that's messed up about these women because of shit like that. Women don't want to deal with him, and now he wants to tell women what's wrong with them instead of fixing himself. Because how do you get up here and somebody say they lost somebody and you start talking about justice and all this weird shit?
I think that I do agree the response, but like I didn't understand it. But that's the thing too. That's why really I'm not going to push the issue, but I would love for a discussion about that to come up more because I've heard, and I'm not talking about Conshawn right now. I've heard a man in the manosphere talk about, like for instance, the topic of abortion and all this stuff will come up, and they'll say, well, you know, when they're not quote unquote doing abortion, they're killing their babies and stuff like that, and they really do not understand the depths of postpartum, and it's a lack of education. That's what I believe. But I'm going to drop you down. I'm going to let Kenshawn up. Mello, you hang on. We're us ladies, we're going to just end the live together, but just hold on, sweetie.
Okay.
Let me let Kenshawn up. Here he goes. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna let you end it. And okay.
Yeah. First of all, it's nothing wrong if men get hurt in the past, or they get dropped, or they never get their DMs answered. They get embarrassed in public by women. They shoot their shot and it fails. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what you're talking about, and this is in response to the lady. I don't know what you're talking about, Sunkiss, when it comes to hurt men who come to anyone's panels. Some of the best panels I've been on has been on Mahogany's panels, and we've been talking about solutions with RBR and LAR and other great other content creators, and she knows me enough to know that I'm the person that I say I am in real life. I come on camera, sweetie. I'm not one of these people who, and I one of my jobs is to go out there and approach people. So the men who want to stay in a space and come on YouTube and speak about women and frown upon women, they take that time to do that and be a keyboard warrior. That's the time I take to get one up on them in this capitalist society. That's the time I take to go and do another class in college, another class on edx.com, Coursera.
Okay.
The time they take, no, because she doesn't understand. There's men out here who will be and become incels. Their dicks will not get wet. But there's another set of men who see that time and take that time for initiative, man. And we're out here. I'm just letting you know that we're productive.
I don't want this to be a man-woman conversation.
No, but because I think
just got through talking about the love.
No, but you can back me up.
God, and here we are talking about penises. I
think you can back me up on this, Mahogany. But because she'll put that out there, and our great people in the comments will take that as that's probably what Kenshawn does. But guess what?
Well, Kenshawn, I just want to ask you really short and sweet, and I'm really not trying to be unfair. I'm trying to be fair and give you guys a chance to just say your points and then move on. What is it that you do setting the moon and the stars? Like what professionally, what's it called? And I think it's a matter of what you were doing was trying to offer your services where it wasn't really asked for. And that, I think that's where the problem went. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I was not selling a product, but I would say this. I can send you a book in your DMs. By the way, I know that Mahogany is with MJ, guys. And so it's not me trying to shoot my shot. That's why I said they won't.
MJ's my son. MJ's
I mean your partner.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, when I send you this book, people will probably think that whatever, because you're a beautiful lady and all that. No. This book is about solar biology. Okay, this book will not only teach you that. I think you're a Virgo, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I forgot your birthday. My bad for forgetting that. But whatever your sign is, you will now see that sign in this book, and you will be able to master each day in the month, because they'll tell you where each planet is, and each planet gives a polarity.
The show. and I want to give you an opportunity to finish. Me and you might have to schedule our own one-on-one. You know, I do one-on-ones with
Mm.
everybody and
I'll
anybody
make
that.
it easier for everyone. Just go to Ken Sean on YouTube, and I
Okay.
speak about my 3 series about solar biology where I teach it from scratch. And um, that's me basically reading the book a few times and then giving my experience on YouTube. It's 3 parts. You can go on my Ken Sean Instagram and watch it live on there as well. And that's boom. But other than that, I want to just touch on if I can switch things up
Well,
because
we're about to. I'm gonna end it with the ladies in a minute. So go ahead, but try to make it brief, okay?
one minute, I love how the series is getting into the Dance of the Dragons now. But a couple of things I want to see. This is why we got to do our own panel on this show. Because first of all, I'm gonna say Damon is afraid of Damon. I'm gonna
Um.
say that right now.
Okay.
Because
So
we gonna need our
all right. So is that all you have to say about grief? Because I want to bring the ladies back up. Okay. Because
okay.
this. Okay. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
So
Thank you. Okay. So now I'm gonna drop
yeah,
you.
you take care, and hey, we're gonna get back to this. Take care.
I will. I will. Bye bye. All right. Hold on, ladies. I'm letting you back up. I'm letting you back up. All right. So y'all have, I normally don't drop. Queen, this is your first time, but and Melon knows I really don't drop my link very often, but I am always glad when I do. I get to know a little bit more about you all. I'm gonna let's just avoid, once a person leaves, let's avoid mentioning them really, and let's just bring this show to a positive close. Ladies, you got it, and then we're gonna end the show. Okay.
Queen, would you like to begin or should I?
Um, all I got is just go get help if you need it, and it's okay to cry. Yeah, that's what I got.
Good.
Thanks for
Okay.
having me up, Mahogany. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed you. And
I'm coming back to your panel when you guys hurt people up here because I am disrespectful.
no, 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 no. Listen, uh, you're okay. I'm just right now, my mood, I'm in such a peaceful mood. It's hard for me to regulate a panel. I told Mela I was on my knees praying and I woke up in a good spirit. I feel like my grandmother has just been whispering in my ear all night. So I'm in a good
Oh,
spirit. Yeah. And I just don't want, to end this with us, I wanted to end it in a positive way. I want you guys to start your day off positive. You're always welcome over here. Um, don't ever feel like you can't come. When I used to hit panels, Mela knows this. Do you know I have cursed out so many people in this sector? Uh, let me tell you, half of the people here love me, half of the people hate me, and it's okay. It is well with my soul, honey. I apologize when I needed to, and I don't hold grudges or anything. Some of these conversations are deep and they're hard to talk about. Go ahead, Mela. I'm gonna let you finish it, boo, and then I'm gonna end it for real.
Considering that it's difficult to accept unexpected um, interruptions of a topic, I commend you for how you've handled this situation. Let that be first announced.
Hey,
Um,
everybody, go ahead.
Second of all, in the interest of maturity, all I would have to say regarding the topic, it is well. It is well to have heard that your loved one enjoyed a full, wonderful life that has enriched your soul. And that's what I came up here to express. You shared with us that you experienced the passing of a loved one, and it is to be viewed as a celebration of life well lived as opposed to um, something otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, there is no expiration date when it comes to grieving. My humble example is Whole Foods. There is this dramatic architectural structure of a Whole Food store. There are many Whole Foods in America, but this particular one has an amazing architectural structure, especially when you approach it at night. And what brings my spirit to pause is to think that my grandmother, who was raised during the Depression, and how she would take us to grocery stores, and she would take all day looking at every little thing. And it didn't occur to me until I became an adult how important it was for her to have access to a luxury, a better way of foraging for food. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that architectural structure and how fancy it is, and how the vast amounts of options that are available. And I think to myself, she would have loved this. She would have loved this. And I was just wondering if you could take us on out, Mahogany, and think to yourself, today in these modern times, what your soon to have been 99-year-old grandmother would have said to have most impressed her about current technology, current agriculture, the current structures of buildings and cities. Like, what can you tell us going out? Because this is your channel, baby. This is your channel. Don't nobody get the last word but you. Nobody gets the last word but you. Tell us what your grandmother in your heart and soul would have said. Look at here. I can't believe I don't have to peel potatoes. Look at here. I can't believe I don't have to sit up there and pull up greens. I can't, whatever. I can't believe that a white man is going to put shoes, fancy shoes on my feet. What will your soon to have been 99-year-old grandmother would say today about everything that has advanced in this society that has brought you forward? You got the last word, baby. It's your channel. And you brought the sunshine to her life
let me
today.
Okay. Well, I'm actually glad you brought it up. So, like I was telling y'all earlier, there were things about my grandmother that I didn't know, but she had a lot of years and a lot of wisdom. And another little known fact about her was that she, so I was going to just bring up who was president 98 years ago. I can't remember who it was, but who was president? I'm curious. Her funeral, who was the president 98 years ago? I can't even think about it. What would she have said about today? I will say this. They also brought up the fact that she got to vote for her very first African-American president. She got to vote for Barack Obama. Yes, which made her very happy. She was excited.
Yes.
So what would she say? It's hard
Calvin
to say.
Coolidge.
She's seen so much, but I will say this.
Coolidge. Queen said Coolidge was the president.
Thank you,
back then.
Coolidge. Yes, that's just how long this woman have lived. She's lived at a time before television and all this and that. So, you guys, this is what I'm going to say to you all, because I believe this is what she would want you to know. Grieve for a little while, and then try and how should I say? It's okay to grieve for a little while, but you want to really make your life to where you've lived your life and you're at peace with your life, to where you're not leaving in grief, to where you've made peace with everything and everyone around you. Make sure you do that. And you don't always have the time that you think you have. So do it today. Don't waste time. Don't tarry about. Okay. And I really just believe she would say, love one another, love on one another. Really, really, really love. Love is a powerful thing. And have faith when you pray. If you want to pray for a mountain to move, believe it's going to move. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Believe it's going to move. And the Most High can do it for you. So I'll leave that alone. Thank you guys. You guys have made the show as you always do. I appreciate you all. I'm going to end it. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and I will say this. I think, because this happens, Queen, I don't know how long you've been on YouTube. How long you been on YouTube, Queen?
Shit. Since 2009.
Oh wow. How long you been doing videos?
I've been doing videos since 2009, but I never associated. This is my first go around associating. I've been associating for about a year and a half now.
Well, let me tell you, I'm gonna give you just my experience, and Mela knows this happens. Like I said, I done bumped heads with some of everybody in this space, and now it's to the point some of the same people we go to each other's channels and have conversations. So what I would recommend you guys do is your first time meeting each other. Kinshawn, check out Queen's channel. I will at the end of this video, give me some time. I will at the end of this video put all of your links in the description box. Mela, you need to get a channel, but I will put you guys.
Wait a minute, wait. Just because I'm exuberant, that doesn't mean I want a channel.
I know you don't, but I always tell her she need to get one because she's awesome. And she could read, y'all. If y'all like somebody to read you down, she could read, honey. But yeah, check out Queen, check out Kinshawn, check out Queen, get to know each other a little bit better, because that's the thing. We just see things differently. And it's not enough time in the world to make us mesh, and we're just now meeting each other. It can be explosive. So peace, you guys. Love. I'll see you soon on these YouTube streets. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.